Looking here to see how this is packaged. This was received in good condition. There's no damage to the box, just a little bit on the corners. The engine was received fully assembled, and everything moves very freely. If we look at this and compare it to a diagram of a normal Stirling engine, it appears that we have two connecting rods. Effectively, we just have one. This is the alcohol tank. There's a glass here so you can see how much fuel is remaining. The fire is here. This is your hot end. And we have a throttling valve here that will control the flow of hot air from here to the power piston. The power piston is down here. We can see it going in and out in this area. And while it appears that we have two connecting rods, effectively we just have one. We have one end of the connecting rod being driven by what appears to be a gear but has no gear function. And we have a rocking lever. There's a bearing in here and that just rocks back and forth. So effectively, this connecting rod is just connected to the power piston. If I open this valve slightly, I'm allowing a little more air to flow towards the power piston and the engine speed will increase. If I decrease the opening, I will restrict the airflow to the power piston and the engine speed will decrease. And this whole thing is moving back and forth due to the repeated heating and cooling of a constant volume of air acting against the power piston. The air that's in this end is being heated by the fire. It gets very hot. The displacer comes forward and causes that air to travel towards the power piston that acts on top of the piston and operates the flywheel. The air in here is then allowed to cool slightly, and atmospheric pressure is slightly higher than what's on top of the power piston. It moves that piston upward again. The displacer comes back, and the air is allowed to come up here and be reheated, and the whole process repeats itself. This engine may need lubrication at some point in time. I can't tell if there's a bearing in here or if this shaft is just running inside this brass as a bushing, which I suspect is the case. Just a dab of clock oil or silicone lubricant. Again, just put some on the tip of a toothpick and just drop it in there and let it go in. You can get it on this side, a little bit here on this end of the con rod, a little bit here and there, and it's going to be difficult, but you can try to get one right up here on that wrist pin inside the piston. Do not get anything on the outside of this piston. That would make a mess, and never put anything inside the hot end. Even lightweight Singer sewing machine oil, in time, the components of that will evaporate and it will leave behind a sticky mess that will attract dirt. A high grade of clock oil is more stable. It will last longer, or a silicone lubricant. Again, put it on the tip of a toothpick and apply it sparingly. And the American favorite WD-40, don't even think about it. Do not use it on this engine. Take the cap off, and I put denatured alcohol in here. You can kind of see the bubble in there. If you tilt this up on this end, as you put the alcohol in, it'll let the air escape from this tube. You'll be able to get a little more in there. I use denatured alcohol. You do not want to use what you get in the drugstore, isopropyl alcohol. That burns very dirty. Denatured alcohol is available in paint stores and camping departments. It's a very small fire. Does not take very long to get going. Try to slow it down a little bit. The engine is very controllable. The control on this engine is impressive. Personally, I do not like to run something just as fast as I can get it to go. And on this engine, I don't think I would run it continuously as slow as it'll go. This is a nice moderate speed. This is warming up here very slightly. I would expect this to run for a fairly long time. I wouldn't run this for a real long time. You may find that if you fill this about half full, that's more than enough. When you blow the fire out, let it cool naturally. Reasonable care needs to be exercised. Obviously, this could be easily broken or that. And this gets extremely hot. I mean, we do have an open fire, so you may want adult supervision around younger children. If you're not going to use it for a while, then I would empty the alcohol out of there, because given time, it's going to evaporate out the end of this wick.